The Love Life and Lose Weight podcast will teach you the art and science of changing your habits around food. I'm your host, Advanced Certified Weight and Life Coach, Heather Beardsley. I've helped hundreds of women just like you figure out how to stop dieting, lose weight, and love life on the journey to goal weight and beyond. Hey, welcome to episode 39. This is the companion episode to last week's episode 38, which was all about the daily planning and assessment page. If you're a No BS member, you can always just use the one that's in the membership for you. I offer just a slightly different one, which just tracks the number of overeats. That's the thing that it adds to it. The main thing is that you use something that works for you. And I went over in that episode how to fill out the daily plan and how to track your overeats. And so I thought that because I gave you homework, which was to complete the daily plan for at least 1 week, so that you would have a full week of daily plans before you weighed in again, that it would be good to use this next episode to assess your week for your weight goals. And I'll show you how I do it. Now, it's the same thing as using the daily planner. Just use the weekly assessment if you're in No BS and you use that planner. Otherwise, you can use mine. They're just versions of the same thing. There's no magic planner. Okay. It's just the magic is in using the data that you have collected through making plans each week to help you optimize your results. So let's say, you used the daily plans each day last week and you lost weight. You kept your overeats to the number that you wanted to. Great. That gives you confirmation that your prediction of how you needed to align your eating with your predicted weight loss results was a success. So that means that you can just keep going. This is a call for rinsing and repeating. Okay. Just do the same thing and just keep doing it until, you reach your goal or you got to do some troubleshooting. And if you need to do some troubleshooting, we have episodes on I have some episodes on the podcast to help you with that. Okay. But this is just for general weekly assessing after you have 7 days worth of data. Okay. So the question is, how do you get this weekly assessment if you want my version? Well, it's the same as last week. You got to sign up for my email list so that I can send it to you. So for that, if you're not already on my email list, just go to hbeardsley.com/subscribe. The end of every single episode that I've done has these same instructions on it. It's just no different. So that is hbeardsley.com/subscribe. So as soon as you subscribe, you get an email from me giving you the link for the daily planner. Okay. It's like 3 days after that I invite you to get my weekly assessment and planner. If you go ahead and give an honest review of my podcast in order to get that weekly planner. That's just what I ask that you do. It helps the podcast out. It helps the podcast get found by new members. And we want as many women losing as all the weight that they want to lose without needing restrictive diet programs as much as possible. So this is really helping to spread the word. Okay. So whatever podcast listening program you use, whether that's iTunes or Android or Google, Spotify, whatever, just go ahead and review the podcast there. You just open up your app and find the podcast, and then you'll see the little stars, and you just give it the number of stars. Honest review. Okay. So once you have that first email from me, if you want that weekly planner, just reply to any of them, and tell me what your review name is, and that you've given the review, and I will reply to your email with a copy of the weekly planner. That's how I do it. It's kind of high touch. Okay. That's how I roll. I'm just a team of one here doing this part, right? Mostly what I do is inside the membership, but I do this for my email list. Okay. So you've got your weekly plan either from the No BS planner or from mine. You have 7 days worth of daily plans. So go through. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see my planner. Okay. Here's your weekly plan. The pink part at the top, you're going to fill out second. It's a little, I should probably change it. The first thing you want to do is reflect on the week prior before you make your plan, right? You want to see like, okay, here's what I said I was going to do. Now I've got to look at each one of those daily plans, count up the number of overeats, see what else happened, what got in the way, what worked, and then we're going to make a new plan for the week upcoming. So you're going to go down on the left-hand side where it says reflection. It's really simple. It's just these two gray boxes. There's an ending weight. Okay. And then the actual number change. Don't just put lost or gained or maintained. I want the actual number. So in order to do that, you're going to have to commit to a practice of weighing in on the same day every week so that the number of change is 7 days later. Okay. That's going to give you good data. If you're weighing in on Wednesday and then again on Saturday and your week is 10 days, okay, it just doesn't work. All right. If you want to make data-driven decisions to help you lose weight, you got to commit to a process that is replicable. So that means honoring a weekly weigh-in, okay, and figuring out how to manage your mind around it. Either that or just skipping a week if you have to, right? All right. So you put your ending weight in there and the change. So maybe you lost 0.5 pounds. Maybe you gained, 1.2. Put the number there and then the date, just so you're sure the date that it happened. And then you just check the box. Did I meet my goal? It's a yes or a no. How do you know what your goal was? Well, you got to go back to the week prior. Look on your first day's worth of daily plans. It says right there, this week, I want to lose or maintain, and how much. Okay, so you bring that information back over here, and then you know if you met your goal or not. Okay, this is the most important part of the assessment. Are you getting results? Why or why not? So in order to do this, I want you to flip through, again, those daily plans and see what worked. Did you meal prep? Did you wait for hunger? Did you shift when you had your dinner? Did you stop snacking? Did you go on more walks? Did you ask your family for help? Did you get rid of nighttime snacking? Just outline what was working or what wasn't. And then I want you to pick at least one area to focus on for the next week for everyone. So this means if you met your goal, your area to focus on, and please hear me when I say this, is to just rinse and repeat this week's version of what you did last week. Do not try to think, I got to up level my food. I got to do new, harder things. No, we're not complicating this. If you are happy with your result, you don't have to work any harder than you already worked last week. I can't tell you how many clients I see doing this. Okay. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Allow it to be easy. And yes, it can be easy. Okay. Because we're not restricting. We're eating what we want, but we're waiting for a physical hunger until we eat. And then we're not overfueling or overfilling our bellies. We're stopping when we've had enough food. Okay. So just write a couple of sentences, what worked, what didn't, and what area you want to focus on coming up. So if you didn't get the results you wanted and you notice like, wow, I was still having that after dinner snack when I wasn't hungry like 3 times this week. Okay, that's a good area to work on. That's a great one to work on. And I wouldn't say like get rid of it altogether if it's a well practiced habit for you. If you feel like, oh, I don't want to let that go, that might be hard. Okay, we'll just try to snack after dinner one last time and make a plan for how you'll do that. Okay. And then the final section in the gray is what is working well. And this is really important for you to fill this out as much as possible by when you go through your last 7 days of daily plans, notice all the things that you're doing that are part of the success of your week, even if you didn't get the results on the scale. Okay, maybe you food prepped. Maybe you took your lunch to work instead of going out for fast food. All the little ways that you level up, and you deserve to acknowledge and validate those efforts. It's actually critical that you develop a practice of positive validation of your efforts and making incremental progress, because that will help you feel motivated. Like, hey, like all of these things add up and eventually the scale will move. Each week I do this experiment with my weight goal, and each effort I make, each little 1% change that I pull the trigger on goes into the experiment, and it brings me closer and closer to seeing those results that I'm waiting for. Okay. So that's the assessment part. Then you want to come back up here and you want to write the date for the upcoming week. As I'm recording this on a Sunday, that's my week start on Monday. I don't know when you want to start your week. Maybe it's Sunday, but whatever. Just put like whatever your weigh-in week is. Okay, because I weigh in on Sunday. So my work week starts on Monday, but my weigh-in week is Sunday to Sunday. So as soon as I weigh in, as soon as I get off that scale, my new weigh-in week starts. You see that? So my ending weight on Sunday morning is also my beginning weight of my new weigh-in week. Okay, that's how I think about the dates. So on the left-hand side, you're going to put in your goals. So you're going to lose, maintain, check the box, lose or maintain, and then write in that starting weight, which is also your ending weight from the week prior. Okay, and the date. The middle box is identifying your new best guess for how many overeats you can have that week and still lose weight. So you want to look at the week prior, what that guess was, and what you were able to actually do. So let's say last week you're like, all right, I was trying to keep my overeats to 4 or less, but I actually had 7. Okay, so I would still keep your goal as 4. Okay, if it feels really hard, maybe you bump it up to 5 and you just work there. You don't want to make this feel like it's really, really hard. Okay, you just want to do each week incrementally better and then just focus on the progress that you're making. Okay, all roads lead to Rome. You have to work with an acceptance, knowing that like my current habits around food, as long as I work on changing what I'm doing now and doing incrementally a little bit better each week, I will eventually get all the way to where I want to go. I promise. So you want to fill in this block, which is the number of overeats that you are predicting will give you the results that you're looking for. So it says, in order to lose weight, I'm experimenting with keeping planned and unplanned overeats to less than or equal to how many overeats. So just to review, an overeat is any instance of eating food when you're not physically hungry or eating to physical fullness past when you've had enough. And usually that means like stretching sensors in your stomach are giving you feedback that your stomach is stretched a bit, that you can feel like that fullness in your stomach. Okay. Any alcohol, desserts, or snacks eaten without physical hunger present technically count as an overeat. Okay. Like if you want to have your alcohol, your planned alcohol with a meal and you're hungry, that's totally fine. But if you've already had your meal, right? And then you decide to have 2 glasses of wine later and you're already at satisfied before you even have your wine. Well, you're taking in calories and you're not hungry, right? So that's an overeat, whether it's planned or unplanned. So just make sure that you're tracking your overeats in an honest way. Okay, so on the right-hand side, on the top, this is where I want you to plan for fun, self-care, hobbies, and downtime. So go ahead and list them there. Maybe you're going to get your nails done. Maybe you have book club. Maybe you're going to go play pickleball. Whatever it is, try to list at least 3 of them in your week and then immediately add them to your calendar so that it becomes a commitment that you will remember when you look at your calendar that day when you're making your daily plan. Okay. That part's really important because, I mean, look, if you're trying to lose weight, what I'm asking you to do, what you're asking yourself to do, is to get a little bit less dopamine by eating a little bit less food. And so you're going to be a little low on the dopamine that you're used to having, right? So you want to compensate by making sure that you prioritize other activities that feel really pleasurable. This is why it's so important for you to kind of round that out so that you don't feel like a brain in withdrawal from feeling good. Okay. And the nice thing about focusing on these things, fun, self-care, hobbies, and downtime, are that they don't have the negative effects of blocking weight loss or causing you to gain weight. And they're sustainable. All right. Next, anticipate obstacles and identify what your plan is to overcome them. So let's say, for example, you look at your week ahead. Remember, this is a weekly plan. And you're like, oh, I've got book club. I always overeat at book club. Like the food is so good and there's always a great dessert there. And I know that I tend to eat to like enough with my meal, but then I eat the dessert right on top of it. And that's an overeat. So maybe you could say, like, I still want to have the dessert. So maybe I have like half the amount of meal that I typically have. And then I'll have like my full serving of dessert. And I think that would help me not have an overeat. And you'll see how that goes. You know, maybe you do need to cut down on the dessert. I don't know. You'll see. You got to play the experiment through this week and see how you do it. But really, like, put yourself in like that scene in your mind when you're anticipating and just be like, make a plan that you know that you isn't too hard. Like, I wouldn't want you to say, like, no dessert at book club if you really want the dessert. You know, one time at book club, I just said, is it okay if I just have the dessert? And nobody cared. I mean, we've been together many years, so they know that I kind of like to do my own thing sometimes. But, you know, be you or not. I don't know. Figure it out. This is where you figure it out in this section. The part in cursive here says, I will complete my daily food plan at what time and exactly where this week. So this is just recommitting to that practice of daily planning, right? In this worksheet, we're planning for the week generally. This does not take the place of making a daily plan the morning of each day over the next 7 days. Okay. So you've got to recommit each week to making your plan. And then finally, the last section is just you saying why it's worth it to commit to your weight loss blueprint this week. Meaning, why is it worth it to keep your overeats to the same as last week if you lost weight or met your goal, or less than you did last week if you didn't meet your goal? So that your work ahead, this is really focusing your brain. Your work ahead is to overeat the same if you got good results or a little bit less if you didn't. Why is that worth it? Because guess what? In the moment, you're not going to want to eat less. You're not. So you've got to remember like why it's really important. Like, is the extra bites of whatever or the snacks, the bullshit snacking when you're not hungry and you want to procrastinate at work, is that really worth your weight loss goals and feeling frustrated that you don't have another good result on the scale? Like, you got to get really real and make some choices. Okay. So that's the weekly plan that I offer. I've told you how to get it. I will also, on that email that offers you to review the podcast and get the weekly plan, I'll put the link to this companion video that I'm taking as I'm recording this call for the podcast. So if you want to see the weekly plan, you can go over to YouTube. It's a private video. I'll give you the link in that email that you get like 3 days after you sign up for my list. And so you can watch it. Okay. So I want to just end with like just reminding you that the daily planning and then assessing your week and making a new plan for the week is a tool that will help you to learn how to trust your body, listen to your body, and change your habits of thinking and acting around food. It's the tool that makes it all like obvious, that will help you stay aware and remember your appetite cues, even if you have habits of overeating, like that are sort of unconscious and really ingrained. Okay. And it just takes a lot of practice. So commit to like at least 4 to 6 weeks of doing this and see how you go. Now, someone who is being successful, losing weight, your weekly change that you get over 6 weeks will look like a mountain range that is slightly going down. Okay. Nobody loses weight in a straight downward trend. There's going to be some weeks where you don't lose as much. And so that's why. That's totally normal for a body. Bodies lose weight, they let go, and then they kind of recalibrate. And they want to make sure that like you're not stressed and you're not starving and you're not in a food famine. So that's why it's really important for you to, eat to satisfied. Don't undereat. Got to listen to your appetite cues so that your body feels safe. Do you want to allow normal amounts of hunger to happen before you eat, but not excessive hunger? And then you want to stop when you've had enough. You don't want to undereat, so you're constantly hungry. These are two sides of the same coin. And each of them are super, super important for sustainable weight loss where your body doesn't feel overtly stressed. Okay. So these are the main tools that I use to apply in real life the concepts of, intuitive eating, where you rely on your body signals, your hunger signals, your satiety signals to lose weight after years or maybe even decades of counting calories, going to Weight Watchers or counting macros or what have you. So the tools will take you, in the beginning, they're a great way for you to engage with these concepts. And listen, maybe after a lifetime of like counting calories, you're like, wait, what? Like I just have to wait for hunger. I don't even know when I'm hungry. That's normal. You just pay attention. I promise you, your body is there for you. It's always talking to you. But if you've been so obsessed with points and Weight Watchers and calorie counting, you haven't been listening. So you just got to listen. Okay. It's a leap of faith. I know. It feels scary to, like, delete MyFitnessPal or lose it from your phone. Just fucking do it anyway. You don't need that stuff to lose weight. You're a human being. You come hardwired with appetite cues and body signals that tell you everything that you need to know. And you have your own hardwired tastes and preferences for food. This is your life. You have senses to enjoy your food, enjoy your experiences, enjoy your human life. Okay. Get out of your head after you've done the work of daily planning and weekly planning, and get out into your life. Do those planned, pleasurable activities this week. I want you to really focus on those and creating the life that you feel like you would be creating or have created when you get to goal weight. Don't wait to goal weight to do those. I want you doing them now as you lose weight. And that way, when you get to goal weight, you've got this rich, delightful, varied, multifaceted life that rises up to meet you. And the pleasure of food is just one part of that. It's not the starring show. Okay. So I'm excited for you to try this over the next 4 to 6 weeks. If you have any questions on how to use the weekly assessment, go over to Instagram. You can find me at Thrive in Midlife. On the episode 39 reel, you can leave a comment there, ask me a question. I'll do my best to help you out with it. Okay. And maybe I'll see you inside the No BS membership, where I'm a full-time coach. That's the only way that you can work with me, is inside the No BS membership. I provide the podcast as a way to help you all figure out weight loss. But if you need a more structured environment, and tools and community to help you lose weight this way, I really encourage you to join No BS. Just go to joinnobs.com and it's all right there for you. Okay, so that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to create more energy in your life. So that's coming up. My book is in final copy editing. So that's coming up. I hope to release it. Looks like it might be late August now or September. I just decided not to rush it. What else can I tell you? Oh, I have a brand new website after 12 years. No, wait. I started it in 2012 and we're in 2023 right now. So 11 years. End of July will be 11 years completed of a self-made janky ass website that I created myself. I finally got some help with it and it's really beautiful. So go check it out if you want to. It's hbeardsley.com. And you can just see a little bit and learn a little bit more about me if you're interested. Yeah. So your homework this week is to complete your weekly assessment from the last 7 days and then make a weekly plan at the top. Okay. If you have any other questions, let me know. Okay. I'll see you on the gram. Take care. Stay focused, and so long.